Okay, today we are going to tackle all the models for oligopoly and the different approaches and different strategy. We'll start with the oligopoly market, and the product may or may not be differentiated. And this is one of the things that the oligopoly market is characterized with. And here we look for the numbers of firms where there are very few, example in the steel industry, in the cement industry, in the mobile application industry. And this is one of the industry where we have oligopoly market, and sometimes they apply price discrimination. So in some oligopoly market, you will find they are looking for substantial profit in the long run, but it will never exist unless they are having a collaboration between them. What are the industry that we can have in them price discrimination? And we have a practice of oligopoly market, which is explicitly in major industry across the globe. It is the automobile industry, it is the steel, aluminium, petrochemical, electrical equipments, and computer. Especially computers as well, we will find that we have a market structure characterized by oligopoly and few players. So the advantages of the oligopoly that they can achieve economies of scale, and it make unprofitable for more or than few firms to coexist in this market. So the advantages in the markets can based on that technological advantage and the power that they have it due to the innovations and technology. So we have something called the natural entry, which is basically the structure of the market. And it is called that incumbent firm may take strategic action to deter the entry. What do you mean by strategic action؟ يعني ممكن مجموعة من الشركات تمنع دخول بعض الشركات الأخرى. طب لما هتمنع دخول بعض الشركات الأخرى ده هيبقى عن طريق حاجة اسمها إيه؟ كارتل. يتفقوا and they agree or they organize with each other in order to put barriers to deter the entry, to prohibit people to enter the market. طيب عشان نمانج الاوليغوبولي ماركت طبعا الجوفرمنت بتinterfere and try to minimize the power that they have. طيب when managing the oligopoly market, it is very complicated as well due to the pricing and the output that they have it and the important strategic decisions that they are trying to look for. The first one, he is trying to reach equilibrium situation in the oligopoly market, is John Nash. And John Nash is very well known for his theory where he can explicitly explain when market in equilibrium, how market reach equilibrium. When we do this, they can go for reaching the same prices and the same output. Based on notion, a very well-known notion, it is each firm is doing the best it can give whatever its competitor are doing. Yani I will set all the best I can do, taking in consideration the advantages. So equilibrium in Nash equilibrium means set a strategy or action in which each firm does the best it can given its competitor action. What will be the competitor action? What is the opponents? It can have at the beginning duopoly, and it can be only two players in the market. So in the previous video, we explained the very well-known Beautiful Mind film. And here he starts by explaining the role of transparent strategy. When the transparent strategy, what do you mean by transparent strategy? That each player will explicitly explain his target, and each one of them will be entering the market as a winner and no one will lose. And later after Nash, we have a COURNOT model. COURNOT model start to look for the quantity when the product is homogeneous. They are the same type. بدأنا في أول نموذج عندي هو مين؟ COURNOT model, and is a very well-known scientist. And he mentioned that each firm treat the output of its competitor as fixed. So they decide simultaneously how much they produce. They decide spontaneously how much of output they have. So as you see here, it is a relationship between the output decision for a firm, and this is the demand for the firm one, and the margin revenue for the firm one. And when we have firm two, we will have the second demand, and this demands, it is explicitly that think that the firm two will produce 50. It demands is D150, as you see here, this is called the D150, is shifted to the left by this amount because we have the marginal revenue and the amount of output that they are going to have. Finally, if firm one think that firm two will produce 75, firm one will produce 12.5. So this is how they can think and how they can set the quantity that they have in this market. So again, the firm two will produce nothing the demand curve will be D10, will produce nothing. And it is labeled by D10 in the market. The corresponding marginal revenue, this is the marginal revenue for this for the firm, and this is represented by 50 units, and the output will be 50 units. So this is the best point or the optimum point that they are going to have if this is the decision. If the firm think that the firm 2 will produce 50, it demand D150 is shifted to the left, because if it is thinking it's going to produce 50, then it will shift to the left because they agree upon this one and they are splitting it equally. If they are thinking it is 25, they are thinking it will be divided equally, then to other firms it will be 12.5. So this is what we're trying to explain. What is the reaction curve? What will be my reaction curve? And as you see here, the reaction curve explains the bundle of quantities that the firm can produce. How much of units. يعني مثلا لو فكرت كده Procter Gamble لو هي بتنتج 2 products، طيب هتنتج how much of products؟ ايه الكومباينيشنز اللي موجودة؟ ف الرياكشن كيرف ده بيوريني الفيرم بروفيت ماكسمايزيشن اوتبوت، الكميه اللي انا هطلع منها بروفيت ماكسمايزيشن from the bundles of 2 products as you see here Q1 and Q2. Firm 1 reaction curve show what? According to this data, maximum numbers of Q1 it will be 50 if I allocate all the numbers of amount of all the resources to this line of production, or I will go to the extreme, which is the 100. So these are the 2 extremes that I can have. But if I want to make a bundle, so I will select a point between them. But my selection will depend as well on firm 2. ايه الكاباسيتي بتاعت firm 2؟ firm 2 عندها تقدر تنتج قد ايه من Q1؟ فالماكسيمم بتاع firm 2 maximum بتاعها for Q1 it is 100. That is the extreme line where we produce 0 from Q2, or هتبقى 75 when we are producing 0 from Q1. So what do we mean by the reaction? يعني الاثنين they agree, they sat together and they try to determine the amount of units that both of them are going to produce. هيتفقوا على ان كمية عدد وحدات قد ايه. So therefore neither firm will move from its equilibrium. كل واحد فيهم reach the point of equilibrium where they interact together and determine the points of quantity they are looking for. This is what we explain, and this is called COURNOT model. And COURNOT is usually named Nash Equilibrium. This is what we call it sometimes COURNOT Nash Equilibrium model. COURNOT Nash Equilibrium. Or then COURNOT Nash Equilibrium, it is each firm is doing the best it can give what's the competitor doing. And this is what they try to explain it in the film by giving 4 men and 4 ladies and how they can both of them reach the win-win situation that we have. So do this exist؟ عشان يحصل الكلام دوت لازم يبقى في حاجه اسمها cooperation، وان الفيرمز نفسها explicitly and transparent tell the strategy that they are looking for. طيب هنا لو انا عندي 2 identical firm، مهم جدا كلمه identical firms and we are trying to find the equilibrium situation. So the point here it is to look for the quantity that we are looking to produce. If I'm looking for the equations, so this is the price 30 minus Q. So I'm in need to find total revenue, and I find total revenue how? I take this equation and I multiply it by the quantity. Then this is give me the total revenue equation. So 30 minus Q, and then I will multiply times the Q that I have at Q1 here. Okay. So what we will have? We have 30 Q1 minus Q1 square minus Q2 minus Q1, and then I can find the marginal revenue. So the marginal revenue, when I equate it with 0, this is the function, I can reach the quantity Q1 equal 10, and the total quantity I have it here equal 20, which is both of them are the same. أنا جبت منين إن هم قد بعض؟ لأن أنا قلت إن هم 2 identical firms, and this is the same quantity that they are doing. So if they collude حاجة كويسة جدا بقى هنا هيحصل فيه collusion هنا. يعني ايه collude؟ هيتفقوا مع بعض and they agree to maximize their profit. هتفق طبعا دي انا هقلل حجم الانتاج بتاعي and this is the collusion curve. يعني ايه collusion curve؟ يعني هنتج كميه اقل، وطبعا by many ways I can set the prices at higher level. وبالتالي this is the point of Q, will Q equal 15, and this is the collusion curves that we're looking for. طب الكميه دي بدل ما يكون كل واحد فيهم بينتج 10، كل واحد فيهم هيبدا ينتج 7.5. So the duopoly example, as you see here, this is the curves that we reach it. يبقى أنا لو جيت بصيت كده and I will draw demand 1 and demand 2 ادي 30 وادي ال 5. This is the extreme and this is the other extremes for the other curve. So the point when they reach Cournot خالص كل واحد فيهم there are no collisions يبقى هنا هيبقى 10 and 10. And here when they agree together the number of units will be lesser and then it will be 7.5. And this is called the collusion curve, and this is one of the most important criteria to figure out what happened on real life. هل on real life بيحصل الكلام دوت؟ بيحصل الكلام دوت في different activities وبيبدأوا يقللوا the number of units aiming to increase the production. Okay, but if I have a competitive market, what happened? In the competitive equilibrium market, we will have higher number of units and it will be doubled, and this will increase the quantity that we will have it here. Okay, let's go for the second model, and I do like this model so much because this model is based on the innovation, technology, and this is what we usually name it first mover advantage. And we can reflect on the first mover advantage on Tesla, let's say, for example. Why? Because Tesla entered the market first, they use the electric vehicle, and then the first mover allow other competitors to enter the market. So the market was oligopoly, and they start to differentiate it. So Stackberg oligopoly model, in which one firm sits out before the other. طيب ايه اللي يخليني عندي first mover؟ لان عندي capacity كبيره، عندي technology، فبالتالي انا عندي capacity to produce first. لما produce first يبقى ده معناته ان انا I will be the leader in the market. The leader in the market, we will have a power in the market, and then I can not allow anyone to enter the market. So let's see here, marginal cost equal marginal cost 2, and this is the same demand equation. ما غيرتش حاجه في demand equation، بس انا عايزه ابدا اغير بقى في مين؟ في الفيرمز reactions and how they react differently. فأنا I have here 30 minus Q. So I will find this is the demand, the inverse demand, and this is Q2 in the terms of Q1. This is the reaction curve. So this is the reaction curve for the firm 2. If I'm looking for the total revenue for firm 1, how can I got this? So I have the firm 1, I will use my pen. So it will be like that. So this is the firm 1. Firm 1 must therefore consider firm 2. Okay, so this is the prices here. 30 minus Q. So if I multiply this function times Q1, 30 minus Q times Q1, so what I have? I will have 30 Q1, and then I have Q1 square minus Q2 times Q1. So what I have here, I multiply this equation times what? Times Q1. And we end up by this total revenue, and this total revenue can allow me to have what we call it the marginal revenue when we are doing differentiation with respect to the quantity. So here 30 Q1 minus Q1 all square, and then we have Q2. I will take this Q2 and then I'm going to replace it with the reaction curve here. And then I will find that 50 minus half Q1, 50 minus half Q1 times what? Times Q1 that I have it. Then the equation will end up by total revenue equal 15 Q1 minus half Q1 all square. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make differentiation. So when I differentiate with respect to quantity, so the quantity will be cancelled, and the 2 times 2, I will put the power here, then 2 over 2, it will be 1, then left for me Q1. So this will be my new marginal revenue, and this is giving me the equation where I can complete and find the quantities here. So 15 minus Q1, so the marginal revenue equals 0, giving Q1 here, it will be 15. So we conclude that firm 1 will produce twice as much as firm 2, and this is make twice as much of the profit. So this is Q1. Why? Because it is the first mover. So the assumption of doubling production because they are the first mover in the market. So this is called the Stackberg model. So we know that in the Stackberg, they are the first mover. So they have the capacity to double the production, and they have the power in the market, and everything is due to they are the first producer, maybe for technology, for innovation, and the rest who enter the market will be called a follower. Let's go for the third model, which is called COURNOT model, price competition with homogeneous product as well. And this is called an assumption for the model to look for. We said the steel, the copper, a lot of things there were oligopoly model in which firms produce a homogeneous goods, homogeneous identical, and this homogeneous good, each firm trade the price of its competitor as fixed. So here we assume the prices are all the same, and in the COURNOT, here you will find that what prices to charge, it depends on the this assumption. So here I will put the cost in this assumption. I will add the marginal cost, which is 3. So I will try to find the duopoly reaction curve. So let's see, for example, here it is 30 minus Q. And here, giving the quantity are the same. So the price for me is price times the units minus the total cost. So my profit equation is total revenue minus total cost. Okay, so I will substitute with the given data that I have it here. So let's say, for example, then I will look for the price times the quantity that I'm looking here, which is Q1 equal Q2, and they are all 9. And here, 12 times 9 minus 3, which is the variable or the marginal cost, times the number of units. So the units here is 9 times the cost here that I have it, and this is the given prices, which is 12. So this is simply the profit, and the profit here is depending on the, if we go to substitute with the function, I assume the prices. So I will take this price, so I assume these prices, since this is my assumption, to clarify why I'm going to put this 30 minus Q. This is 30 minus Q. This is represented the price function. So for simplicity, I'm just add the 12 from my side in order to explain that I'm going to replace the 30 minus Q. So 30 minus Q times the quantity minus 3. So I can find at the end how much of amount of profit that I have. So 30 minus Q, what is the Q which has been given? So I will substitute by the 9. 30 minus the 9 times the number of 9 units. Then it will give me 30 minus 18. And then we will end up by that the amount of profit that the firms will achieve it. If you make a direct calculation, you will find it is 18. And this is if the market price is this 12, so that each firm will make a profit of what? Of $81. So now suppose that the two duopoly compete together and choose.
دكتور معلش احنا جبنا الكوست منين هنا؟
Substitute. When you substitute 30 minus the 9, do this calculation and you will find the answers here. يعني for example, if you use your calculator, you will find the answer of 81.
عندي سؤال بس.
Please.
هو أنا عارفة إن ال quantity 1 equal quantity 2 اللي هي equal 9، بس أنا ليه في الآخر بعمل times 9 تاني في الحتة الأولى؟
Because here we are looking for the total revenue minus total cost. So the total revenue is basically the equation of the price, the pricing of the whole function, which is 30 minus total Q, and then time the quantity that I have it here, 3. So the total revenue is the price times quantity minus the total cost. So this is the equation, total quantity, and this is the 9 that we agree, and what is given in the assumption, it is 9, and then the total cost for this number of units. So this is the total capacity that they can have it, but the quantity here, according to the terms of the equation, it was 9. And then we will substitute, then we will end up by 30 minus 18, and this is 18, it is the Q1 times Q2, or Q1 plus Q2, it is 18, and then the total cost as you see here. So this is the equation, price times quantity minus the total cost in order to have this equation. And then we end up by the 81, and this 81 represented the profit that we have it from COURNOT model. So what Bernard said, what price to charge, we want to know what is the price to charge, how much the price, and then the market prices, they agree on this price. They agree on the price and they agree on the quantity that they have it in the market. So Nash is completely different. Nash COURNOT is completely different because Nash in COURNOT result in both firms setting the price equally. So if I'm doing Nash, then the prices will be 3. Then the industry output will be more and more. The total industry, it will be 7. The total industry here, it is 18. But in Nash, the total industry will be 27, which when each firm produce 13.5. So the numbers of units in Nash, it will be more number of units, and both firm earn zero profit in the market in the future. In COURNOT, here, I'm trying to explain the differences. In COURNOT, because each firm produce only 9 units, the marketplace is 12. Now the marketplace is 3, while in COURNOT model, each firm made a profit. In Vernon, the firm price and marginal cost and make no profit. Here, this is the difference between the three. So if we focus here on the Vernon model, again, in COURNOT model, you will see here that the COURNOT model, the market price is 12. And this is the amount of profit we have. In Nash, in Vernon, we said that the price is equal $3, which is equal to the marginal cost, which is in this industry is $3. In industry, total output will be the highest total outputs in the market. And in COURNOT model, the number of units they agree upon, it is 9 units. So these are the differences between the 3 different types of models, Vernon, Stegberg, and Nash Equilibrium. So if I have a differentiated, in the previously we have homogeneous product, but what happened if I have a differentiated product? Procter Gamble is not selling the same product. They try to differentiate it in size, in value, and they are having different categories. So we have a differentiated product. So how can we choose the prices as you see here? So profit maximization, the criteria of a profit maximization, that marginal revenue is equal marginal cost, or the profit equals 0. So here I have the first firm demand, and this is the second firm demand. So as you see here, each one is differentiated in prices. So I want to find the total profit, and this is by function, it is the total profit for firm 1. So price times quantity minus the 20, which is given here, that here we have the 2 duopolists have a fixed cost of 20, but 0 variable cost. So they don't have that much of variable cost. It is almost 0. So if I am substituting here with this equation, so I will use the function up in the Q1, 12 minus 2P1 plus P2, and then I will multiply times the quantity that I have it. So prices times quantity. This is the equation of quantity. So 12 minus 2P1 plus P2, and then I multiply times P1. So I will take this equation because this is will represent the Q, and all what I have, I'm going to multiply times P1. So when I multiply times P1, this is will give me the total revenue for the first function. So as you see here, 12P1 minus 2P1 all square, because I multiply the function 12 minus 2P1 by P1 square, and then we have P2 alone, P2 equation, and then I can replace this P2 with the function that I have it from the other one in terms of P1, where I can set all the equation in terms of P1. So, and then as you see, this can be differentiated because I can differentiate the function. How can I differentiate the function? I can differentiate it with respect to P1. So 12 will cancel the P1, and then 2 times 2, it will be 4 P1, and then I have the P2 plus the P2. I think this equation is missing plus P2, plus P2. So if I have a differentiated, what do you mean by differentiated pricing or differentiated product? The meaning of differentiated product, that I have a differentiated prices. Then to have a differentiated prices, so I will have firm 1 and I have firm 2. And firm 1, we will see here that I'm going to find the total profit, and then I will try to equate it with 0. So I got the function Q1 minus 2P1 plus P2, and then I multiply it all times the P1 I have it here. When I multiply times P1, then I have 12 P1 minus 2P1 all square minus 20 plus P2. And then I will differentiate with respect to the prices here, because I don't have quantity, and then it will be 12 minus 2 times 2 equal 4 P1, and then the P2 show here, and the 20 is cancelled by differentiation. So how can I got P1 equal 3 1 over 4 P2? So I will put the P1 on one side, then it will be 4 P1 equal 12 plus P2, and then by dividing both sides by 1 over 4, then the P1 equal 3 plus 1 over 4 P2. And then I have the two equations as you see here, 3 plus 1 over 4 P2, and this is the second prices for the second product and for the second reaction curve that we have it here under this assumption. So what we can have here, this is can explain the prices that I have it for different reaction of curves. So a firm have a reaction and another firms have a different reactions or a different product. If they agree together, they can set the prices at $4 if they agree together. If they didn't agree, either they can be behind the 4 or exceed the 4. So two firms sell a differentiated product, depend on its own prices and the competitors. So if I'm looking for detergents, I can sell Persil, Tide, all the things, either with the same prices, or I can put different flavors, different size, different volume, then I can have different prices. So if I have Nash, then all the detergent will be the same price. If I don't have, and they're collusive equilibrium, and they having a higher advantages and they are differentiating, then the prices will be high. So the reasons of differentiating the products is giving this product a different prices that you have here in the market. So I will recall the two equations, and then I will look for the total profit. So I will look for the profit for the reaction curve firm 1 and reaction firm 2. And then I will equate the two equations and I will substitute for the two equations. And then we can get up by the profit here. Each firm profit will be $16. If they set the prices as 6, I substitute in the equation with the 6, 24 minus 4p. So here it will be a 0 economic profit, and this is the meaning of 0 economic profit in the prices of 6. So if the prices is 6, so if they want to maximize the profit, because this is the prices is very high, so they can set it lower a little bit, and they can, each firm is profit will be different if we're looking for a different prices, or when we set the function at the beginning with a profit, single profit for profit 1 and profit 2, then I will substitute 12 P minus P2 square minus 20. And here, when I'm looking for 12 times 6, it will give me the profit of $16 for each firm. So if we have the total profit function, it will be in the whole total profit function, it will be 0. And if we're looking for each firm, you will have the profit equals 16. So what are the Procter & Gamble equations that we use here? This is the functions of Procter & Gamble, where they are using different products and they are having different prices. As you see here, this is the prices and this is the competitors. And as you see here, there are a lot of losses here, as you see in the negative sign for Procter & Gamble pricing. They are losing, but in different products, other different products, when we have almost 1.4 and 1.5, we have a single price. So at 1.4, at which your competitors are doing the best, so the Nash equilibrium exists. So if you could collude with them, if you can agree with them, so when we collude with them or we agree with them with 1.5 or 1.4, you will see that you will have a higher profit. So the collusion or the agreement between the other competitors, they can help them to maximize and they can earn high profit in one of the examples of Procter & Gamble. If we go for the prisoner dilemma that we explained it before, prisoner dilemma where each firm here have a fixed cost, let's say, and they face the same demand curve. They have the same demand curve as you see here, but with a different piece. So when we want to find the Nash equilibrium, each firm with a charge of $4, each profit you will find it is for 12. But if the firms collude, they can charge a price of 6 and earn a 16 profit, as we explained before. So let's see here, if this is the equation that I have it, this is the quantity, and then I will multiply times the prices. So the price here, it is 4, and the price here, I will have it is 6. So when we substitute here for the equation, we will end up by the profit will be 20. And when we substitute here, the profit here will be 4. So if firm charge 6, and firm 2 charge 4, and the profit will be completely different here. So, and if if it will do the same expenses of the firm which will fail to for here. So what I'm trying to explain, what will happen if I have a strategy where they are agree together, will they have the same prices? If they set the prices 4 and 4, then the profit will be 12 and 12. If they set the prices 6 and 6, the profit for each one will be 16. So here, this is called the Nash equilibrium. Each one will they have the same profit. But if we go for the firm two, when they charge $6 and the firm one charge $4, I think the winner here it is firm one. Why? Because they have higher profit. If you go for a firm one when they charge 6 and the other one charge 4, so here they are differentiated, but the prices here is important. So the one who have a charge of firm price 4, then the profit will be higher. So it's here different when we have a cooperative game and we have non-cooperative game. عشان كده هنا we have here the matrix. The matrix explain what? This is the action of the firm. If the firm either to charge 4 or the firm charge 6. And the same situations or the same choices with both of them. If both of them agree, as you see here, charge 4 and charge 4, or charge 6 and charge 6, both of them will end up by the same what? By the same profit. And this is called the Nash, and each one will have the same strategy by colluding and they reach the same profit. But if they do not, non-cooperative game, what they do not agree, they didn't negotiate, they didn't sit together, you will see here that firm 2, and this is the output matrix, will end up by a profit 20. And firm, and here this is firm, I'm sorry, this is firm 1, this is the firm 1, and this is the sign, this is for firm 1, and this is the sign for it, because they charge 4 and the other charge 6. If we go for firm 2 and look for this matrix, when they charge 6, this is will go for 4, but the winner here will be the firm 2, because firm 2 set the prices lower and their profit become higher for them, because they attract more people in this industry and because they don't have any cooperative games. So this is what we call it a payoff matrix. So the prisoner dilemma game theory explain how the two prisoner dilemma decide to either to cooperate or not, either to confess for the crime or they are not going to confess. He will receive a lighter sentence of the both cooperation. So in this prisoner dilemma matrix, you will see if both of them confess, each one will lose. And if they do not confess, they will got the minimum penalty for getting in jail. But if prisoner 1, let's say, for example, confess on the other one, so you will find here when the prisoner B, let's say, for example, confess, so over the other one, he is the winner, and the other one who kept silent, he will lose, and he will have 10 years in jail. If we go for prisoner B, if he did not confess and the other one confessed over him, then the one of prisoner A, when he confessed, he just get a 1 year penalty, but the other one will be remaining silent, then he will lose. And this is the prisoner dilemma matrix, and then we are going to continue next time.